Derrick Henry in a Ravens uniform, the Ravens being linked to another safety, and Lamar in top quarterback debates once again. That and much more on the Purple Rain podcast. Yes, welcome back to episode 244 of the Purple Rain podcast. Jason Brookins episode, Willie Gaston, Monta Leach, Daniel Wilcox, Tony Vincent, Kyle Juszczyk, and most notably, Marlon Humphrey. Yes, thank you for coming through episode 244 of the Purple Rain podcast on this lovely Monday. You know, if you want to follow us, you can follow us right there on Instagram at the Purple Rain podcast. Follow this guy over here on Instagram, on X at Sutton Death. Follow me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on X at simplyas10. I think I'm forgetting something.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
you
I
are. I
am.
think you're forgetting about our lovely jubbly sponsor, Manscaped, as you guys can see on the
Yeah.
bottom of the screen. I know you
Yeah.
guys, this might be a little shocker, you guys. I normally don't come on stream with the fresh face, right? You know what I mean? I'm normally on here with a scruffy beard, for the boys, right? For the boys. But since the summer is rolling around, it's getting hot, as Alex always says, I wanted to get, a nice little fresh start. So I went ahead and I shaved today. So that's why I'm looking a lot different. I'm looking a lot younger before we went on stream. But thanks to Manscaped, you know what I mean? So you can go on Manscaped if you want to look clean like me today. I mean, I'll probably get scruffy in the next week or so. But if you want to get clean like me today, you go on manscaped.com, put in our code PRP, save yourself 20% off of anything that they have on that website, including the Lawnmower 5.0, no longer the 4.0, but the
Mm.
Lawnmower 5.0 is on the Manscaped website, and you can get 20% off by using our code PRP. Um, Now, no, Alex would ask me how my week is going and how I'm feeling right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get kicked off with that. I'm feeling great.
Yes. Good.
Lots of exciting news coming out of the NFL. It's the off season, so you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt. You're not gonna get anything too hardcore. Especially not at this point. You're not getting big free agent signings, big trades, things like that. That part of the off season's over, right? We're in the media day, right? The pre-mini camp. Um, kind of era of the off season. So, I'm feeling good about the team right now. And a couple of guys that I saw a couple of tweets today. Here is the time of year where I'll be on Twitter a lot, right? And I'll just be kind of reading takes from different analysts and different people on Twitter and stuff like that. And we're gonna get into some of the takes, some of these lists, right? It was a continuation of the lists episode a little bit, right? We're gonna touch on that a little bit, but I'll flip it to Alex and I'll ask, how is Alex feeling? How are you feeling today, brother? How's it going?
Good. Had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Very nice weather out, fantastic weather out. I'm actually feeling very, very good. I'm missing soccer a lot. That's probably my favorite sport. But the Euro starts next week. That's like all the European countries playing. It's like a mini World Cup. Honestly, I'm looking forward to that. But so far, so good. Swan, yeah, it's looking good, looking very good, and feeling good. The weather outside is nice, and I can't get mad at
Mm-hmm.
all. I think I might go to the Orioles game this week on Thursday. So
Okay.
life is good right now. Yeah. But I'm right there with you. It is June, and they love the list. The engagement farming is crazy right now. I haven't been on
Oh yeah.
X in like 6 hours. But you did bring up a list. And I'm assuming there's a lot of engagement farming going on right now, and that's kind of what's going on. It's the whole. They always bring up the Herbert versus T Law debate, the Lamar versus Allen, Lamar versus Burrow, and I feel like we're gonna have a little bit of that today. Yeah, it's crazy, crazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this. Unfortunately, tomorrow we go back to minicamp, so I actually have like footage on it's mandatory
Mm-hmm.
as well. So I'm expecting all the guys to be there. I don't think anybody right now is in the contract holdout or situation, so it should
Right.
be the full roster there. I actually just on Instagram, Arthur Millette, he's on a plane to Baltimore. So I assume a lot of other players are doing the same thing. But I'm ready. I'm ready for more Ravens content, and thank you for everybody who's come out today on this Monday, the Purple Rain podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now I wanted to start with something that you had mentioned to me earlier today that I actually was not aware of. You had mentioned there was a safety that the Ravens had drawn interest in over the weekend or the past couple of days. Could you enlighten us on that a little bit?
Yeah. So it's on Raven Country, and yeah, it kind of surprised me, but at the same time, it didn't. Obviously, we brought in Jamal Adams a couple weeks ago for a visit. A lot of Ravens fans want to get Justin Simmons. I'm one of them. But according to David Latham of Last Word on Sports, the Ravens will be a logical destination for veteran safety Marcus May. We are actively looking for
Mm.
another safety. So, while we have Hamilton and Marcus Williams, who are both above average starters, we do use that three safety look. And I guess they're assuming that Zach Orr is going to keep it going as well with what Mike McDonald did. And I'm all for it because to me, I think Kyle Hamilton's probably, the most important piece in that defense. I'll be honest. I think when he went out against the Rams, they started dicing us up, started cooking us. And if you can, you know, keep him on the field as much as you can and keep offensive coordinators worried, I'm all for it if you want to bring another safety and let Kyle Hamilton just roam free.
Yeah.
So Garnett.
What's going on, Garnett? What's going on, Yolanda, as well? Everybody in the chat right now, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. We got Lisa in here, says, "Hey guys, I'm back. I have a new phone. I didn't talk to y'all. I like Sutton's new looks. And feel confident in calling it right now." Well, thank you, Lisa. And yeah, I feel confident too. I'm sure Alex, he shares the same sentiment. Football in what, 90 days? A little bit less than 90 days, something like that.
Yeah.
We're counting down. We're counting
Double
down.
digits.
So yeah. Now getting to the safety talk, I, I do like the fact that the Ravens are doing kind of their due diligence and making sure that even our stronger position group are still progressing. I think that's damn important for a defense. Like our defense has been good. Like for example, I think our secondary has been pretty solid when they're healthy for the past 5 years or so, right? Pretty much ever since drafting Marlon Humphrey, we've had guys kind of, come in and out, Marcus Peters, Earl Thomas, guys like that, right? Who have really kind of put the defense, the secondary specifically over the top. Nowadays, though, I feel like we should be putting more of our chips towards the edge rushing position. This is kind of where the conversation starts for me, right? So you guys can see the title of the video. What's missing from the Ravens defense heading into 2024? Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of going out and allocating more resources to a player in the secondary when that's not necessarily. And again, I'm all for strengthening positions that we're strong in, but that's not necessarily what we need the most. There is a bigger hole on this defense that needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed, sooner than I would say anything in the secondary, and that's edge rusher, man. I mean, we saw what happened last year when we led the league in sacks, AFC Championship. I don't think it was a coincidence. I don't, Alex. Like that's important. Being able to get the opposing team's quarterback on the ground, uh, it completely it swings the tide of a game a lot more than people really recognize. It's a loss of down, a loss of yardage, and it's a real killer for the offense. Especially for the quarterback. He's getting banged up. You have to be able to get guys on the ground, and I really have a concern right now with our current personnel lacking, a Jadeveon Clowney who amassed what? How many sacks did Jadeveon Clowney get last season? Remind me, Alex.
I want to say 9.5, I believe.
9.5. Yeah, damn. I knew it was close to 10. Damn near 10 sacks. And we lost that. We lost that production. I didn't really expect that production to come out of an Odafe Owe as much as we love him here at the Ravens flock. We want to see him do well, but I can't really expect it wholeheartedly. But Ajabo, same thing. Can he stay healthy, or can we expect that sort of motor that we saw at times in his career? I can't really expect Tavius Robinson to step up and really replace 9.5, 10, sacks, things like that. I also do not expect Justin Madubuike, who just signed a new contract. I do not expect him to replicate what he did last year. Just being real, guys. Just being real. I don't expect him to get what was his 12.5 sacks, something like that season. 13.5 sacks. I expect at least a little bit of regression. All I'm saying is this: the bottom line up front. I don't love the allocation of the remaining resources, meaning cap space, towards the secondary as opposed to that defensive line and specifically the edges. But what do you think, Alex?
Listen, I'm right there with you, but I'm going offensive line. Uh, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. We've been saying that like it's every episode I say this, but outside of left tackle and center, please tell me who the rest of the line is. I don't know. Like, yeah, Rosengarten's probably gonna be the right tackle, which okay, we can
He's
give you
got
that.
to.
So we have 3 out of the 5. Yeah, you would hope so. But I know there was it's been him and Makari. Uh, but outside of that, like who else is gonna sit there? Who's our guards? Ben Cleveland is it gonna be him? We've been saying
Cleveland.
this since he was a
Yeah.
rookie. That's what I'm. It's like, and we know Makari can play literally anywhere on the line. So if I could, make another signing, it's going to be a lineman. But my thing is, I don't know what linemen are out there right now because the only one that we both wanted went back to Minnesota, unfortunately. But at the same time, you saying D line, I do agree with you there. Ojabo to me, when he's on the field, which has been 2 to 3 games, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and I don't want to sit here and just base it on potential because can't do that. And Owe as well. Like this is the year your 5th year got picked up, go and ball out. Because if you have this year and next year 2 good years, look how much edge rushers are getting paid. You could be the next one and get the next big contract if you have 2 back-to-back really good years, 10 sack seasons, or hell even 8 or 9 sack seasons. You'll get a good payday. But and then you add that along with Zach Orr at DC, who we both really like, another question mark. So yeah, I would definitely would go either D line or O line with the money. I don't hate getting a safety. I would like it if we did, but just it can't be for a huge sum of money at this point.
Yeah. See, I mean, my only thing was, and I see the comments that we have coming in the chat here. Jeremiah says, "How can you say that you would expect Clowney to do it again? That was his best season in years." You're absolutely right about that, Jeremiah. For me though, I just think that this Ravens defense, especially this Ravens defensive line, specifically the edge rushers, they need a closer. They need somebody who's going to close games late in second halves when it's third and long for the opposing team and they can get into the really big play. We need that guy who's going to go out there and shut that shit down. Excuse my language, right? Get the quarterback on the ground, put him under duress, knock him off his spot. It's a bad throw, something. We can't have guys glued on to left tackles and right tackles, and just letting these oh so talented quarterbacks that we know are in the AFC, all over the AFC. We're gonna have to play a lot of them this season. Actually, we cannot let them sit back there and have their way with our secondary because no matter how good the NFL secondary is, there's ways for a professional NFL quarterback to dice up that secondary. We've seen it time and time again. So I think best bet in order to stopping some of these like electrifying quarterbacks in the AFC is getting them on the ground, not letting them put the ball in the air at all. Or if you do let them put the ball in the air, make them make a bad throw, force an errant throw. That's what's important. Yolanda agrees with you. Says me too. Alex, the line concerns her as well. Yeah, that's another patchwork job. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like it's kind of. I mean, last year, Simpson leaving, and then Moses. I wouldn't. I wish we kept Morgan Moses. I do, but hopefully Rosengarten's a real deal. But yeah, the O
Yeah.
line does scare me, and you bring up with the secondary as well. I put myself through mental warfare this past weekend. I watched the all 22 of the AFC Championship game. Just it was there, and I was, what, let me just take a snag at it. And there was just a play where like Mahomes is rolling around, getting thrown down, and throws it to Kelsey, and Kelsey makes like a 1 in a million catch because of course he does, Mr. Perfect. And then there's we're getting pressure, but then Mahomes just runs away, dumps it off, first down. Like even when we're getting to him, he's buying time. Secondary can cover all day, unfortunately, and even getting a Nate Wiggins, like that's not gonna help. That it's gonna get to him, or just gotta hope that he makes a mistake, which is very very rare, which is why they're back-to-back Super Bowl champions at this point. It's hard. It's hard to win a Super Bowl in this NFL, and you bring up the gauntlet of AFC quarterbacks. It doesn't get any easier. Now Aaron Rodgers is healthy. Whatever your opinion is on him, the Jets do have a stacked roster. It is on paper. Yeah, we haven't seen him play yet. You got to look at teams like the Colts. I think I thought they made some really good signings. The Texans right now. We can just go on and on. Just look no further than AFC North. Look no further because I think every team is a playoff contender in our division. No matter who it is, you can pick anybody. Their floor, I think, is to make the playoffs for every team in the AFC North.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at the quarterbacks that the Ravens have to go up against, there are little to no easy weeks, right? So you know how during the football season, when you're going through a Monday through Friday, like a normal routine Monday through Friday, and you know who the Ravens have coming up next on the schedule, and you're just thinking about like, okay, how stressful is this matchup going to be? I always think about, okay, how good is the quarterback? that can tell you pretty much all you need to know for like how you need to prepare for that game. Let's go through and take a look at what quarterback the Ravens are going to be facing this season, kind of in order, right? So, week one, of course, Chiefs. We know that's Mahomes. Week two, Raiders. I mean, I don't necessarily know who's going to be starting for them yet. I guess we'll see, right? But moving on, after that, you got Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. That's a solid quarterback. We got Josh Allen, the Bills, another solid quarterback. After that, Joe Burrow, right, and the Bengals, another one of them. Commanders and Daniels, I guess it's a little breaker, right? But you never know. You never know what this kid's going to be able to offer. Then you got the Buccaneers and Baker. Baker and the Bucks. That's not going to be an easy one. That's not a walk in the park, right? In Tampa. Then you go to Deshaun Watson, who diced us up with a terrible shoulder last season in the second half. I remember that. Um, you got the Denver Broncos as well. I mean, we don't really know who's going to be starting for them either. But then after that, you got Bengals and Burrow. You got Russell Wilson and the Steelers. You got Justin Herbert and the Chargers. You got Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I mean, come on, man. The amount of like high-end quarterbacks have to go up against this season, it's second to none, like literally second to no other team. I think we have the hardest strength of schedule in the league this season. So what I'm saying, you know, I like you said, secondary cannot cover forever. So we're going to need a guy who is going to be able to close these plays, finish these plays. Do not let these guys dance around. Don't let Mahomes do 2-3 spin moves and then throw a miracle prayer ball to Travis Kelce because you know he's going to catch it. Get these guys on the ground. So, Alex, I wanted to bring this up to you. You brought it up to me earlier as well. So there's a guy that the Ravens have been looking at. He's in the UFL right now, plays for the DC Defenders, so kind of a local kid, right? His name is Malik Fisher, defensive end. As I'm sitting up here talking about edge rushers, defensive end, things like that, this is what the Ravens are looking into. They hosted Malik Fisher for a workout on Monday. So Fisher was an absolute star for the defense in the UL this season. As you guys can see his numbers there, 33 tackles, 7 TFLs, 7 sacks, and 3 pass breakups. He's a tremendous athlete who showed plenty of growth this year. Upon hearing this news, I'm even more satisfied. It's satisfying to know the Ravens know they need a guy, and at this point in the offseason, they're not going to get a premier edge rusher from any, so you kind of got to take some swings. So if I had to say, do I like this move a little bit more than us looking for whatever safety who's already in the league, cost us a whole bunch more money? I would say I like this move better, but what do you say, Alex?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I have no problem, with looking at a guy like this. I saw Garnett brought up Malik Ham, the undrafted rookie from last year, who unfortunately, he showed out in preseason and was showing out in practice as well. The joint practices, there's that one-on-one rep where he absolutely did the lineman. Disgusting. And we'll probably see more of him as well. And I'm looking forward to that. And right here, it doesn't hurt bring him in for a workout. UFL it's not some, Pee-wee league, it's, guys, they're fighting for a chance to get this workout. That's why you see guys like Hakeem Butler, he has a trial with the Panthers tomorrow from St. Louis, and it's not this Mickey Mouse league. It's a league. It's developmental league, and that's kind of I'm glad about for that. So 7 tackles, 7 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 3 pass breakups. It's really there's no harm in doing this and bringing him in, and hopefully he can get signed. Hopefully he can be productive for us. Now, how many snaps he gets, I don't know, because he'd be behind guys like Tavius Robinson. But if you show something, we saw it last year, a 5th round. Yeah, and we saw it last year, a 4th or 5th round guy, and Tavius Robinson was getting meaningful snaps and helping set the edge, and even had himself a sack on the Thursday night game against the Bengals. So, and a tremendous athlete as well. The Ravens love a good athlete because guess what? They'll put you on special teams and you can show off that athleticism. But yeah, I'm right there here with you. I like it, and then who knows what happens. The workout was today. So maybe we get a signing tomorrow. Not too sure, but it's something to keep your eye on.
Let me see. So Tanja brings up here, says Yolanda, I guess talking to Yolanda, says the problem with EDC is he gambles on positions and we are in win now mode. If we do not get to the quarterback, it's over. I got to agree with Tanja here. At least to a certain extent, I can't say that he's a degenerate gambler. Like he's just completely like shooting craps out here. Exactly. Like I'm not saying that, but I agree with the second part of her statement. If we don't get to the quarterback, man, it's over. So I like EDC being more intentional, at least taking swings or gambles, so to say, if you want to say Tanja. At least taking a gamble at edge rusher, because that is something that we is. I'd say if I had to prioritize our needs right now, it's definitely between edge rusher and offensive line. And if I had to prioritize one over the other, I'm gonna go edge rusher only because our offensive line. Again, you can put makeup on that a little bit because we have Lamar Jackson at quarterback, and I think we see that especially early on in the season. I'm not saying that I want that to be the case, but uh, that's how it goes. That's how it goes, right? He's gonna make up for a lot of mistakes the O line makes. There is no Lamar Jackson on the defensive line, so we got Roquan, but it's not the same. We need an edge rusher, a premier edge rusher, just like the other guys, like these other teams in our division. I bring it up all the time. I won't do it anymore now.
I will. I
Yeah.
will real quick because something you
Okay.
said earlier, and just one player came to my mind. You said, when a going gets tough on a third down, we need to stop. And I think about multiple Ravens games that have been lost to this team because one player on a third
Yep.
down or a fourth down will cause a fumble or get a sack. Do you know what team I'm talking about and what player I'm talking about?
Yep. For sure. Pittsburgh.
Who is it?
TJ.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm going back to 2017 when Jeremy Maclin was our receiver. I vividly remember a Sunday night game where Joe Flacco is dropping back and trying to find somebody, and here comes TJ Watt. He fumbles the ball, and it goes out of bounds like a 10-second runoff. We lose the game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember
I
that
do
game?
remember that one.
Yep. And I think if we win that game, we make the playoffs that year, too. It was earlier in the year, but we needed one more win to make the playoffs, and we lost that game to the Bengals and Tyler Boyd. But with that being said, he's been doing to us, since the Obama administration, even before 2017.
Ooh.
But no, that was that his rookie year? I don't know, but it's 2017 is he's really been an upper asset, and even this past year he had the forced fumble in Lamar, and they get the ball, and yeah, we lose. So it's been happening, and Tanja correct. Every single team, Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. I do that. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, I think, is a pretty damn good edge rusher, both of them. And I'm waiting for us to have that. And we did have it last year with Kyle Van Noy, Jadeveon Clowney, and Matty BK, but I'm right there with you about BK. I really like him, and I think he'll get double digit, but asking a defensive tackle to repeat 13 sacks in a year is crazy. I know he got paid, but that's asking a whole lot. That's Aaron Donald, Chris Jones level, and
yeah,
he's the one more year looking at last year, he's on that level in my opinion. That's back-to-back years, at a high level doing that.
Yeah, Alex, I think the Ravens defensive line will specialize more in stopping the run this season as opposed to kind of being like a sack leader, like literally top 3 in sacks, top 2 and not 2 in sacks, something like that. But that's just me. I got to see one of these guys up first, and they just haven't yet. They just haven't yet. I'm hoping it's going to be Oweh. We've been hoping for 3 years, but man, that's the biggest need. If you're reading the title of this video, what's missing from the Ravens defense heading into 2024? Edge rusher, edge rusher, edge rusher is big need. I think it's over the secondary. It trumps the secondary. Anything else, literally interior D line, anything else. It comes to linebacker play, anything. We need edge rushers, period. Especially in this conference, in this division too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and we can move on from that one there.
One more thing.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I forgot. Yeah. I feel like we haven't given this man enough props. I definitely am at fault for this. Chuck Smith, Dr. Rush. Garnett says he really has work cut out for him, and I think there was a clip in the Ravens Wire last year. I think it was a Chargers game, and I think Madubuike, I think he may have broken the record for the most games with a half sack, but Madubuike kind of gave a lot of credit to Chuck Smith, and it's no coincidence that when this guy comes in, Madubuike goes from good to great. And if he can work his magic a second straight year, Mr. Smith will be having some calls for some higher positions. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go from losing Mike McDonald, Anthony Weaver, and then our secondary coach as well, whose name is I forgot right now, but we'll be losing another defensive coach, and I'm not looking forward to that at all. That's not. I don't want to think about that, but that's just how our coaches are. They get other jobs with other teams, and it's most likely, a higher position most of the time.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the only caveat with being a successful team, like a consistently successful team who makes deep playoff runs, things like that. Your coaching staff is going to get decimated. They're going to get absolutely picked over by the vultures around the rest of the league, because when you're in an AFC championship game, you have a season where teams aren't scoring 20 points on you, or you have a two-time MVP. People are going to be looking at your coaches, right? If they can't get at your players, they're at your coaches. And that's what's been happening to the Ravens over the past couple of seasons. Our guys have been getting poached here and there. Mike McDonald is definitely the biggest loss that comes to mind, because he was a prodigy. He is a prodigy, in this league. I think that he is going to be wildly successful with the Seahawks. We'll see what they do with Geno, but I think that they're looking towards the future as well. I can't wait to see what they put together. I wish all the best to Mike McDonald. He's a great guy, but I hope Zach Orr's better. Damn it, I do.
Yeah, and I remember in 2016, 2017 when Sean McVay got hired, that was kind of like the whole revolution. And it's like, if you shook McVay's hand, you get a job. Hell, if you shook Mike McDonald's hand in 2024, you're gonna get a job. I think he's a new age McVay, but for defense. Like what he did defensively last year was unheard of. And McVay didn't win a Super Bowl his first year. Neither did McDonald. So I'm looking forward to see what he does. And coincidentally, they're both in the NFC West, which is tough-ass division when you look at it. Like, I don't think Ravens fans are sleeping on the Seahawks because we know how good McDonald is. But I think the NFL is, honestly. They have a really good roster with a really good coach. Question mark at quarterback, but that's the reason why they got Sam Howell, who I think we both like. I'm not saying he's elite, but he's all right quarterback in the NFL. So
he's a gunslinger. He just
if things don't go well, Geno. And what better to have when you have JSN, DeKalin Zacharias, and Tyler Lockett? That doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, this isn't a Seahawks podcast. Ravens.
It's not. I mean, we shout out to our guy Mike McDonald, man. He did a lot of great things for the Ravens. So salute to him. Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on here. So I said I led the episode with this might be the continuation of our list episode, meaning the top 5, top 10 quarterback list that all these analysts are coming out with very conveniently in June with all these hot takes on their list. The clicks, right? We talked about it on the last episode. We're going to talk about it a little bit more on this episode here. So the latest rendition of the top 5 quarterbacks list coming out from these professional analysts, quote unquote, is coming from Chris Sims from the NBC. I think he covers football for the NBC channel. Let's go ahead and bring this up on the screen here, see what his top 6 list is. So he actually has them broken down into kind of like a tier list here. So he did a top 40 countdown. Here are the top 5 to 6. So in a legendary tier, all by himself, rightfully so, is Patrick Mahomes. Of course. Then he has an interesting tier called the Unicorns tier, right, where he features Bills quarterback Josh Allen and Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow as 2 and 3. And then if you see the last tier that he's got here, it's called Damn. Okay. And that features Lamar Jackson, Ravens quarterback at number 4. LA Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford at number 5, and Justin Herbert, LA Chargers quarterback at number 6. Now, upon looking at this list, I can see Alex's face already is turning upside down all types of ways. Let him actually take the lead on this, because I don't think you saw this list until just now, right? This is your live reaction to this list.
No, this is my first time seeing the list.
Give me your knee-jerk reaction to this.
Yeah. Gardner, I do want to know your top 5, just for the fun of it. I think we have to do our QB tier list once again. We did it in 2021.
We do.
And definitely, some
that
crazy
was a fun episode.
There. But, okay. See, I don't like him putting legendary because, to me, Aaron Rodgers is also a legend. Like, I know he's won Super Bowl, but he's made throws that are, unreal. And he's a hell of a quarterback. Obviously, Mahomes is number 1. I get that. Unicorn for Allen and Burrow. If you're gonna call a unicorn, you got to throw Lamar on there as a unicorn, in my opinion. Unreal, does things you're not used to seeing. Plays the game in a different way. Josh Allen unicorn, the turnovers, man. That's just what really scares me with him. It's just turnovers. I guess we'll see now, what they have without Diggs, but I think their GM Brandon Beane did actually a pretty good job fixing that wide receiver core, and it's not elite, but it's definitely not bad at all. Burrow, he got hurt mid-year last year. Put him at 3. when a certain quarterback got hurt in the middle of the year, he was nowhere near the top 3. Just gonna leave. Just gonna
Nope.
put it out there. We're gonna
Yeah.
leave that there. Stafford, I have no problems with. I'm a Stafford truther. He definitely. I mean, there's a reason why Puka Nacua had an amazing rookie season last year because the guy thought it to him. He's been doing it to all his receivers. Herbert at 6. Herbert is talented as hell. Very, very talented. With that being said, I'm going to keep the same energy. How many playoff wins? How many playoff wins, guys? How many? None. 4th year.
Got a point.
4th year.
Yeah.
But once again, he is a fantastic quarterback. I want to see some love for some other guys. I mean, to me, I think Jalen Hurts maybe. I thought he had a pretty good year last year. Unfortunately, it went downhill. A little bit of Jalen Hurts disrespect if I was an Eagles fan, and I am the furthest thing from an Eagles fan. Please know that. Jared Goff
likes Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, nobody
Goff
does.
Too. Yeah. But it's just like Herbert, he has these 4,000 yard season, a 5,000 yard season on his resume. But again, the playoff success is one thing. But also, I think that he's kind of a merchant of his defense too, a little bit as well. Because you look at and here's where I say this. You could kind of say the same thing about Lamar Jackson at times. You could say he's like a defensive merchant, right? Because he doesn't always put up the 3-4 touchdown games. There's a lot of games Lamar Jackson has, one passing touchdown, maybe one rushing touchdown, maybe 200 yards passing, something like that. But I can guarantee you this, Lamar Jackson is the one who's willing his team to victory at the end of the game. Correct. That's what he does, right? That's the difference between the Lamar Jackson and the Justin Herbert to me, on top of the 2 MVPs, on top of the, just more playoff success by default, because Justin Herbert has no playoff success. That's why I put Lamar Jackson up there. But I think that you could, are we looking at, because it says heading into the 2020 season, right? So I guess it's situation, expectations, because if we're saying expectations wise, I might put Stroud above Justin Herbert. To be honest with you, I might put CJ Stroud above Justin Herbert. Because I think that CJ Stroud being thrown into his rookie season last year, right, completely outperformed the expectations we had for him. Completely outperformed those expectations. And now you add a devastating offensive weapon in a Stephon Diggs on top of the Tank Dell that he already has, on top of the other weapons, and you add in a Joe Mixon too. And that defense is crazy, and their coach is really, really good too on the up and up. That team, there's a whole lot of buy-in, is what I'm saying. There's a whole lot of buy-in in Houston with the Texans. I think that CJ Stroud is going to be rolling into this year with his confidence, his head held high. Hey, look, we just went to the divisional round, faced the Ravens, played them tough for a half. We belong here as the Texans. So I would probably put, heading into 2024, I would put CJ Stroud above Justin Herbert. I would.
Mr. Sutton, let me ask you this.
Sure.
How many NFC quarterbacks are in that list of 6?
Just one.
Yep. Goes to show you. Freaking show you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I think it's harder to rank the NFC quarterbacks because, to me, not to get off track too much, Stafford, Purdy, Jordan Love, Dak, Goff, Baker. Like there's not a lot that's really separates what's really separating these guys, because Mahomes is kind of, he's been owning the NFL, since he came in the league, since Brady left too. And then, Stafford got the ring over to the Bengals.
I'm putting CJ Stroud and you NFC quarterbacks. I'm putting Jalen Hurts over Justin Herbert too. I am. I'm sorry. We talked about it, how nobody really likes Jalen Hurts. For some weird, strange reason, I see people leaving Jalen Hurts out of their top 10. And I'm just like, how?
It's a tush push, I think. I think it's a tush push.
Are they jealous of it? Is it just like, did they like a cheap move or something?
Yeah, I think so.
But the guy he's way more than just a tush push. We saw him literally go to a Super Bowl, right? Yep. Kind of like Joe Burrow did as well. but he went to a Super Bowl and largely outplayed Patrick Mahomes, right? He made the
Oh, he
bigger
did outplay
throws,
him.
he had the bigger moments. Exactly. So I just don't understand why we're only years removed from that, not even, and he's
Yeah.
not on anybody's top 5, and some people's not even top 10. Doesn't make sense. And Justin Herbert has still a goose egg playoff wins.
And I think maybe you can look back to the playoffs last year, and like they had a really bad end of the season. Like after the whole like Dom stuff, I
Yeah,
just think kind of got in their own way. They're still a really good football
yeah,
team. They're still going to make the playoffs. Garnett says Jalen Hurts has so many ridiculous comeback wins. Yeah, that game against the Bills, I thought they had no reason winning that, and Jalen Hurts puts the team on his back and gets into overtime and wins the game.
yeah.
Like,
Put some respect on his name, man.
and
Stop
if we're
playing
talking,
with
okay,
Jalen
he has
Hurts.
weapons around him, bro. Herbert had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Yeah, and Austin Eckler. Come on, man. Like, are we being serious right now? Like, I just don't understand. Like, when are we going to really wake up about Justin Herbert? Like the Ravens, we played them last year. I didn't see it. We got him again this year. We'll see what he does underneath Jim. But
Jim and Greg.
yeah, Jim and Greg. Right. Wow. What a combination, man. That's wow.
Gregory.
Yeah. We'll see what
Harbaugh
they
and
do.
Roman.
We'll see what they do. But I mean, again, man, these lists that these guys are putting out, man, in these mid-June times, it's just, again, it's for clicks, and I can't say that. I mean, this is like an absolutely just atrocious list or anything like that. I mean, it's all objective or subjective. It's subjective. So I can't really be too mad at Chris Sims, but there's a couple things that you go like, aren't you supposed to be a professional analyst? Like, don't you do this for a living now? Like, are you serious right now? Or maybe you're just being smart
His
and trying to bring
partners,
in the clicks to your channel.
his partner is Mike Flores. That's what Lamar called him.
Mike Flores.
So
Mike Flores. That was so troll, man. Lamar Jackson is low key one of the biggest trolls.
yeah,
He's one of the biggest trolls for a QB in the league. Like, Mike Flores, and you clearly, Lamar, you know his name is Mike Florio. You know what I mean?
he said, "What's his name?" Mike Flores. Like exactly what his name. He played dumb. He said to Ronnie Stanley, "What's his name?" Mike Flores.
I mean, he's playing checkers, he's playing chess, not checkers. I mean, so hey, that's our quarterback for you. He's also one of the flyest quarterbacks like ever. I don't know if you guys saw the media day shoot where he's got the grills in the close-up shot. I mean,
yeah,
Lamar, he's one of the coolest to ever do it at the quarterback position, hands down.
yeah. I just need the ring. You get the ring, you're stamped after that. You got to do what the guys before you didn't do. The running quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They haven't won a ring yet, but you get that ring. It's a lot of narratives are shut down, which is going to be a fantastic day.
Let's bring up some of the Rain Gang's top 5.
Yeah.
Go ahead and drop your top 5 quarterbacks in the chat. If you're not watching this live right now, you happen to be part of the hashtag Replay Gang. Thank you so much for joining this episode 244 of the Purple Rain podcast. Make sure you go ahead and like this video, subscribe if you are new. We'd appreciate that. But make sure you drop your top 5 quarterbacks down below in the comment section if you're for the Replay Gang. And if you're watching live, drop them down below in the chat, the live chat. Lady Laura Baltimore says her top 5 is Mahomes at 1, Lamar at 2, Josh Allen at 3, Burrow at 4, and Justin Herbert at 5. Let me say this about Joe Burrow. Here's where I agree with Chris Sims on this list, and here's where a lot of people didn't agree with Chris Sims. The whole unicorns thing, right? People say that, oh yeah, we can see how Josh Allen is a unicorn. He can run and he can throw, and he's big as hell. I mean, obviously, unicorn. Not a whole lot of guys can do that. But people are trying to discount Joe Burrow like he doesn't have quality that make him kind of like a unicorn as well. It's not necessarily the physical prowess, right? But I've said it here on this podcast before. Joe Burrow is an absolute ace of a quarterback. When he is healthy, he is going to make the right decision 9.9 times out of 10. He's sneaky athletic, right? He can. Oh my gosh! If you flush him out the pocket, he can jump out the window on you, pick up a back-breaking first down like we saw him doing in the FC Championship game a couple of years ago against the Chiefs, right? I'll never forget the call where Tony Romo's like, "Oh no!" Like he literally like screaming no as Joe Burrow's running for the first down. Funniest thing ever to me. I absolutely loved it. People probably hated Romo for that because he's probably seen bias, but
Romo.
I love that.
Romo.
it was an awesome moment for me, and that's when I really knew that Joe Burrow, like, he is willing and able, more importantly, to do anything it is that he needs to do on the football field. He's kind of like, to me, he's kind of like a Patrick Mahomes with slightly less arm talent. I'll say that. A Patrick
I
Mahomes with
mean,
slightly less arm talent. Yeah.
if there's Bengals fans in here, just sit down. I'm giving you praise. I'm going to give Burrow his praise. He was the first quarterback since Brady to go in there in the playoffs and win an Arrowhead. Nobody
Yeah.
since he beat them in Arrowhead, nobody else has. They caught up Burrow ahead. I mean, the next year he did lose to them, but he's done what other quarterbacks couldn't. Tannehill went in there, couldn't do it. Tua couldn't do it. How Lamar couldn't beat him at home. I hate to say that, but he couldn't beat him in his own house. And the fact that he did go there with that line, you got to think about during that Super Bowl run, that line was absolute ass cheeks, getting knocked on the ground nonstop, getting sacked all those times against the Titans and still winning. He went in there and did his thing. So
Yeah.
he does have that. And, I'm looking forward to see him healthy again this year. And hopefully we can keep on having these debates. And hopefully, Lamar, goes 2-0 against them again this year. But it's fun to have these debates. It's fun. But he's a hell of a quarterback. Nobody's saying he's a bum. Like, if you think he's a bum, come on now. He's a damn good quarterback.
Oh, he's top 3 in my book, to be honest with you. I think I would put Josh Allen at 4, at that 4 spot. My top 3 would be Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. That's just me.
That's not crazy.
But I'm a Burrow guy, though. I'm a Burrow guy.
Yeah, so, hey, the same way I'm putting golf, in one of mine.
Yeah. Let's see. So Tanja Bowman in the house says Mahomes at number 1, Lamar number 2, Burrow number 3, Josh Allen 4, and Hurts at 5, and then CJ at 6.
Okay.
I need to see what he does this season, but he can move up on my list. I need to see what he does. Okay, I got you.
Can I ask?
Hurts? Go ahead.
You go ahead, because it's kind of like a troll question, but it's a serious question as well.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say I agree with Tanja's list here. I mean, I literally just said Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, then I'll put Josh Allen, and then I'll put Hurts there. Yeah.
And like in all honesty, Joe Flacco, what quarter is he? A top 20, top 25? Like after that second half of the season last year, like I'm not trying to troll like right now. Like genuinely speaking,
I mean,
where is he at as a quarterback? Because I think he starts for a couple of teams. I think he starts for the Raiders.
Well, I think the only thing about like those kind of like veteran quarterbacks who kind of catch fire like lightning in a bottle for like a couple game stretch, like half a something like that, going into the following season, you're not going to have people who are super high on him because he is a veteran, and like your question, okay, this is year whatever for Joe Flacco now. I mean, is he really coming back into it hungry and working hard, ready with the mindset that he wants the Super Bowl year, or is he just kind of gonna coast through the year? Because we don't need that, right? Everybody's fighting for seeding, especially in the AFC, fighting for this, especially that number 1 seed is the only seed that you're gonna get the first round bye with. So I don't really see a bunch of teams really towards the season, when the season gets a lot closer, right? And teams are really desperate for a quarterback, then yeah, I mean they might make a call, right? Maybe like a Denver or
he's backup. He's in
Oakland?
Indy he's their backup. He's the Colts backup.
Oh, he's in Indy. Right.
Like I'm not even trying to be funny. Genuinely, if I was like Las Vegas, I would have called him. Like you have Mayer and you have Brock Bowers.
I was saying Raiders.
Who does Joe Flacco love throwing to? Tight ends.
Yeah, exactly.
When he had Pitt and Owen Daniels, they were both cooking.
And now he's only going to get an opportunity if Anthony Richardson can't stay healthy. But I'm excited to see what Anthony Richardson can do as well. That's another team that we're not even talking about right now. Young quarterback, and we didn't even get to see what he could do. Yeah.
Garnett says Joe Flacco's in the Ryan Fitzpatrick category. Hey, Flacco got the ring. Joe got the ring.
No, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
But I think about it like, I hope Richardson does well, but I look at where Joe has been signed to. Signed to the Jets. They didn't trust Zach Wilson. And then he goes and starts some games. Broncos, he was their starter. And then you go to the Browns, he's eventually the starter. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're going to see Joe Flacco in a game this year. I definitely think we're going to see him in a game. I hope Anthony Richardson protects his body a lot better because the concussions were scary, especially first year. I do like him a lot. I thought they put some good pieces around him. I think the Colts have a pretty good team as well. The AFC South is going to be really interesting to watch now. Because even the Titans, like with Will Levis, they have a good receiving core around them. They have a fantastic receiving core. Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, and DeAndre Hopkins as well. Traylon Burks at the 4. They have a pretty good receiving core.
Yeah. Got a little squad there. Kogan Scherer says Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, Stroud, and Stafford. Okay, so keeping Stafford in the list. I respect that. A lot of the quarterbacks around the league, they respect Stafford on a very, very high level as well, which, we can all get. If he didn't waste a decade of his career in Detroit, then, Stroud might be right. He might actually have 2 or 3 rings. He says 3 or 4. I'm saying more in the 2 or 3 range.
With the Matt Patricia. Yeah.
So, okay.
I see K-Dog says Gunner with a leadoff home run. The Orioles are up. Gunnar Henderson.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Future AL MVP. Just letting you know. Future AL MVP.
That. We love to hear it. Thank you for the K-Dog. We appreciate you.
21st or 22nd home run of the year, and we're only in early to mid-June. Crazy.
Oh, damn. Man, I mean, O's. Wait, what's the O's record right now?
I'm pulling it up. They are 42-22. Still not in first place. Okay. It's Yankees.
Gotcha.
But they're playing good. Playing good ball.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get into. I think we got one more topic before we start to wrap up on the episode 44 of the Purple Rain podcast. This is something that is not necessarily, well, not at all football related. But it is sports related and something that's been kind of the talk of the town past 2 days on the old Twitter, X sphere, whatever you want to call it. It's about Caitlin Clark, right? So Caitlin Clark is obviously a women's basketball player for the Indiana Fever, who was just drafted this year, this rookie year. We have not talked about Caitlin Clark, I think, at all on this podcast up to this point. So this will be the first time we're bringing her up. Why not? It's June. Talk about it. But she was left off of the Team USA, and that was kind of like a notable thing because she is one of the most popular players in college women's basketball, not college basketball, but women's basketball period right now. She is one of the most popular players, if not the most popular player. So it's like, why leave her off? She was asked about that here in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for us. Let me know if you can hear it okay, Alex, okay?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Caitlin, what was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whomever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break, from Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be really nice. I mean, I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on, and, just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my name.
Yeah. So there you asked about her being left off of the USA women's basketball team that will be, in Paris this summer. And, there's a lot of backlash on the internet. I saw a comment here. This one's coming from Lisa. She said she's not happy about Caitlin Clark not going to the Olympics in Paris. But on the other hand, whatever you want to call it, I see a lot of people on the internet saying, she doesn't deserve it. Because, I mean, she is a rookie, right? There's a lot of girls who have been in the league for years now who have been doing their thing, and they deserve this shot way more than Caitlin Clark. So I wanted to know, I know that, this isn't really our thing. We don't really talk about, like, basketball even that much, especially like Olympics. So maybe we'll cover it more when it's rules, but we don't cover stuff like this that much. But I wanted to ask you about it, Alex, because I think it's an interesting topic. It's like, it's the age-old top. Do you go with popularity, or do you go with like who actually deserves it and skill, right? Because popularity kind of feeds into the whole money sort of thing, and we know money's a huge thing. Like money runs the world. It makes the world go around, right? So if you want to make more money and rake in the dollars, you bring in Caitlin Clark, right? But what are your thoughts on this whole situation?
I'll be honest, I didn't know. But I'll tell you this. I feel like the last thing she said about like her having her time for her body to heal, it felt like once they lost in the NCAA tournament, like a week later she was getting drafted #1 overall. And then a week after that, they're practicing, playing preseason games. Like it literally felt like it all went so quick, which is why I really don't hate it. Like, like I feel like your body has been maxed out to like the crazy. Like you go from playing, like she was selling out arenas, college, you're selling out WNBA. Like you've had no time mentally, I think, to even just take a step back, take a break, and be like, wow, like you've had press in your face 24/7. She'll be on the 2028 team, 100%. I'm really not even doubting that, but I'll be honest, I'm kind of surprised by it because I thought, well, she's gotten all this attention around her, and I've seen games where she hasn't had the best of stats, and then there's another game where she put like 7 threes. But there are some names on there that I know in the Olympic team, so I'm not losing sleep over it. I thought she was going to be on there, but she's not. It's not the end of the world because she's going to be on there 4 years. But what do you think, honestly? Like you have a better take on this than me because I'm not really into that.
Yeah, I mean, no, I understand what you're in there. I do agree that she has not gotten really any rest at all ever since. It feels like she's played a whole women's college basketball season to the plus all of that. Then loses, then immediately gets drafted, has to turn around, start playing again. They play like what, 16 games, like I don't know, 11 days, some crazy. They play a lot of games and not a whole lot of days. But this whole situation about her not making the Olympic team, I get it. I get why they left her off because, like, I think somebody brought it up here. We'll always go with the skill over the popularity. Caitlin will be going. She's gonna go soon enough. It's gonna happen, right? But she hasn't necessarily been lighting up the league. And by the way, people like going to the Olympics, like representing your country in the Olympics is not necessarily about, especially when it comes to basketball. It's not just about, okay, let's just cherry pick everybody from the NBA and from the WBA, like the most popular players, the biggest names. No, it's who is performing the best over there, and right now, Caitlin Clark, she's the lead in turnovers, right? Her shooting percentage is way low right now. I think only shooting 32% from three, 37% from the field. She's getting banged around. Obviously, her body's not where it needs to be, physicality wise, in order to kind of sustain some of these hits that she's getting in the WNBA. And I don't think that would, get any better playing Olympic level basketball either, because you got some big girls in some other countries. So I that it was only warranted leaving her off of the list. And this is a great opportunity because everybody's paying attention to women's basketball now. Like there's a lot of new eyes on the sport, women's basketball. So this is an opportunity for people to tune into the Olympics and see the Breonna Stewarts of the world and see the Asia Wilsons of the world. See the Diana Taurasi's of the world. Like those are the names that we should really be focusing on. Caitlin Clark, she's going to get her time. She's going to be one of the next. She might win some MVPs from a couple years from now, championships, things like that. But as of right here, right now, we got to pay attention to the stars already in our face in this league. Most notably like an Asia Wilson, Breonna Stewart, all those girls. So yeah,
like I would love to see the timeline where it went from her losing in the tournament to the media, the workouts, the interviews with teams. You go #1 overall, but there's always that question. Same reason why doing your due diligence. and then getting drafted.
Right.
And then that whole process of traveling to Indiana, meeting up with everybody, and then the practicing, and then the training, and then the preseason. Like it felt like it all happened so quick. We're in June, and like, what are they? How many games have they played already? I mean, March
A
Madness goes
bunch.
in
Hold on, let
April.
me see.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So like
Played
in
a
the span
bunch
of 3 to
games.
4 months, she played a tournament, workouts, press, and then what? Like a month and a half later, you're playing. Like there's no like with the NFL, you get drafted in April, and you slowly ramp up to the league. There's just been no time at all. It feels like.
Yeah, they've already played 12 games. I think the
And
league's
then
been going
preseason a
on for
couple of
like
games as well.
yeah, exactly. Right. So she's literally been nonstop. So yeah, her body's probably tired. Like Lady Laura says here, she needs mental break as well. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cameras in her face, things like that. So
Yeah.
she definitely does need a mental break. Before I scroll too far past this, we do have a super donation. This one's coming from
Oh,
Asmodeus, the Natos
thank
himself,
you.
a Purple Rain Pioneer. It says, for your protein shake needs, dropping the 5-piece in the chat. I don't think I have a protein shake today, so thank you. Thank you, Asmodeus. That's love. We appreciate that. Absolutely. Okay. So, make sure we want to get your questions. Drop your questions down below in the comments section. We want to get to those as well. But I think that we hit all of our points tonight, Alex. Oh, one more thing. We got one more thing. NBA
Okay.
Finals, right? Before we
Okay.
get out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We've had 2 games. We've seen 2 games of the NBA Finals thus far. I
Yeah.
saw somebody put in the chat earlier that I put Dallas in 6. I think it was Thea Pinel. He's always giving me crap. I put Dallas in 6. It's still possible, by the way. It could happen. So we'll see. But I think that the main thing that's going on right now, game 1 did not expect Kristaps Porzingis to come out guns a-blazing
Yeah.
like he did. Been and just scoring straight off of the bench. And we talked about it, right? We talked about it after last Thursday's stream.
Yep.
I was telling you, Kristaps, I mean, he might go off, and he went off. And then in game 2, I think that the Mavs gave them their best road game punch, right? I think that they gave them their best effort for a game on the road, and they just came up just short. There was a questionable no call at the end with PJ Washington maybe getting pushed in the back by Jaylen Brown to cut the lead to 3, but they didn't call that foul. It ended up just being a clean block, whatever. I was fine with them not calling that foul. The big thing for me, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has got to step up. I know Boston was a hostile environment, but I think he largely let the better of him. You could tell as he was walking out of TD Garden Arena last night, he was kind of shouting at some of the fans like, "Oh yeah, we'll see y'all in Dallas," sort of thing, that sort of thing, or we'll see y'all in Game 5. I think he was saying,
Yeah.
they're gonna come back to the Boston. Granted, they win in Dallas, so he's got to step up because Luka can't do it alone. Luka's out there, getting his ribs taped up before games, getting his knees, both knees, one ankle, and he's just dropping a effortless triple double,
It's
32,
crazy.
10 and 10, something like that. He's
And his
amazing.
body is like, it's not what you expect for a guy to be doing that. Like,
No, I mean it's
just
truly inspirational. It's inspirational. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. He's like, he used to play basketball a whole bunch back in like high school, right? But now he's like, almost he's pushing 40. He's got kids now and whatnot. So his body's like slowing down. He's not really playing basketball. But I was like, who's your favorite player in the league? I asked him. He's like, oh yeah, Luka Doncic. I was like, his game is just so inspirational. Like if Luka can go out there and do that, I could hoop at my age. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I've seen like even people older than that, and it's true. It's true because he's not overly athletic. You don't see him dunking on anybody. He's super skilled and he's deceptively strong. He's deceptively big. He doesn't look that big on
Yeah.
TV, but like in real life, or even in real life, but I can just kind of tell by the way that he moves on the floor and the way that he's able to move guys around. You know what I mean? Like he's able to like move guys out of the way pretty easily. So Lady Laura says he's great.
Yeah.
It looks like we have another super chat donation.
Wow.
This one's coming from Garnett West, dropping the
Speaking of
50
Luka.
piece in the chat, pulling up from
Speaking of Luka.
downtown. Yeah.
Pulling up from the logo, from
Woo.
from the whole other end zone, and
Oh yeah.
middle swish. K-Dog says from Lot C. He pulled up from the
Lot
tailgate.
C.
From the
Yeah.
tailgate.
Yeah.
Like we're
I
not
don't
talking
even
just
think
like
he didn't even get off the
H
exit
just
yet.
don't-
He's still on the highway.
oh wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He's still on the highway with it, man. That's where he's putting up from. Thank you so much, Garnett. We
Thank you.
appreciate you. Dropping the 50 piece in the chat. Says, I just want to say that I love you guys and keep on soaring high. You guys represent our fan base the best. Wow, that means so
Thank
much.
you.
That means so much, Garnett.
You know,
We love you for that.
and
man.
like you said, try to uplift each other in a world full of negative. Be the positive.
Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah.
thing. No.
Be the positive. Be the
Trying-
change in somebody's life. Yeah.
Even when we lose a game, we try to get on here and have some jokes and not have a mental breakdown. We
Right.
fight it
because it's
sometimes,
easy
but,
to. It's very easy to
it
have a
is.
mental breakdown.
It is.
But
we
you
can
know,
do it.
this is the stuff. This is the love that gets us through the June seasons, right? Garnett, we appreciate you. Everybody watching live
you.
now, we appreciate each and every one of you. As we're about an hour in, we're getting ready to go ahead and close the show. Yeah, huge from Gar.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
Okay, let's again. You can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast.
Yeah.
You see down below. You follow me on X or Instagram at Sutton Death, right down there. And then my guy Alex over here, you can find him on X at SimplyAS10, on Instagram at SimplyAS10.prod. My favorite of his TikTok. I think he just posted a TikTok the other day. Who was it? The lineman from the Bucks.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
talking mad shit.
It got taken down by TikTok for bullying and harassment. I got it back up. I appealed it. But I'm like, bro, that's just simple football trash talk. There's nothing. He's not harassing nobody. But yeah, I got it back up. But yeah, that was offensive lineman mic'd up is kind of like one of my favorite things now. Hearing him in the trenches, I like it.
Yeah.
Hearing the scrums, fighting for the first down, I like it a lot.
Yeah, because those guys are fighting every single down. Literally every single down. They are going at and trying to just physically impose their will on another group, man. That is intense. So yeah, there's going to be some jawing back and forth. You're going to get the most valuable mic'd up content out of that. So make sure if you want to hear that, you want to see that sort of stuff, right? That the NFL doesn't just show you all the time.
Yeah.
Go and follow Simply AS10 on TikTok. Please do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. And also,
picture. It was Odell.
Oh, your profile picture.
Oh,
yeah.
It was Odell. It hurt. It hurt changing.
That hurts. But then again, like we led the episode with, man, you can go on manscaped.com, our sponsor Manscaped. You can go on that website, save yourself 20% off if you use code PRP. Yes, that is PRP, like you see right there and down below on the little ticker. You can save yourself 20% off of all sorts of products, including the Lawnmower 5.0. Okay. Again, we love each and every one of you guys. We appreciate you guys for coming out to the live streams. Only a couple more months until we get football back. But until then, we're still rocking out. And I want to say I love you guys. From the bottom of my heart, we appreciate each and every one of y'all. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out.
Yes. Minicamp is tomorrow. We get more Ravens content. So keep an eye out for that. Thursday we'll have it. Looking forward to that. But thank you all for coming through. Thank you for spending your Monday night with us. I'm going to go and watch this Orioles game right now. As always, stay positive, test negative.
Yeah. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. It's been episode 244 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We're going to catch you guys